Now we're going to learn how to make a book trailer with a video. And we're going to follow along with the instructions and then go into iMovie and also to Photo Booth. So first we want to write out our commercial on a notebook, paper, or in a notebook. And then after you've written it, practice by reading it to a friend to make sure it sounds good. Once you've done this, let your teacher know that you're ready to start your project. You'll first get your laptop and you'll open up Photo Booth. And when you open up Photo Booth, you're going to make sure that you hit the video button, which is this one here, and then you'll click on this to get it started. And as you've noticed, I've already recorded mine here. So I've recorded my video. So it says get a laptop, open Photo Booth, find a quiet area in the library, make a video of your book, make sure you can see the author's name also. So we saw the name and we also mentioned it as I recorded it. Now I want to go ahead and open iMovie, which I have iMovie open over here. It says select create new and then select movie. So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to select movie. Now I want to go ahead and click my titles, and I'm going to select one that has two of them here so that I could put my title and my author's name. So it's Sir Pigglesworth First Adventure. And then down here I'm going to put the author's name. We'll put your name at the end when we're giving our credits. If you want to put the illustrator, you can go ahead and put it there. So once I've typed the name of the book and the author's name, if I decide I don't want it white, I can click on this dot here, select a color. Once I've selected that color, I want to click on this reset button. So now I have my title there. I'm going to go, another thing you can do just to make a smaller timeline area, which this is I call my timeline, I'm going to move this setting down a little bit so that they're a little bit smaller. So let's put this to the side and go back to our directions. Now drop your video of the book on the desktop. Rename it with your first name. So I'm going to move this over here. Here's Photo Booth. I'm going to take this and drop it to my desktop. I'm going to rename it with my first name. And I can go ahead and close Photo Booth because I don't need it anymore. Let's see what we do next. Go back to iMovie and select File, Import Media. So here I'm back on iMovie. And I go to File, Import Media. And this is on my desktop, so I'll select Desktop. And I'm looking down here for one that's titled Michelle, which is right here. So I'll click on it and click Import Selected. And here it is right here. So let's see what the directions say. Listen to the beginning and the end to trim your video. Now place this in the timeline. So I'm going to go back over here. Here's my movie.
Pigglesworth.
So I always like to put my cursor right at the very beginning and see if I don't have any pauses.
Sir Pigglesworth.
That sounds good. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to click to play.
See what happens. So please read this book to find out what happens to Sir Pigglesworth.
Now sometimes when you have, when you're clicking it off, I'm going to go ahead and stretch. You can hear the little thud. So we're going to go ahead and grab this and place it down into the timeline. And then I'll click right here and listen again.
So please read this book to find out what happens to Sir Pigglesworth.
This is where you want to stretch it out so you can really see
Sir Pigglesworth.
what I'm talking about. Here's the end. right about right here, I can hear that little thud on closing. It's not very, very loud, which is good. So if you wanted to trim it, you would select it and then move it back just a tad.
Happens to Sir Pigglesworth.
Perfect. Now we don't hear it. So let's go back to our directions. And I've already done this step. I'm going to go add a credit slide with your information, first name, last initial, and your librarian in school. So let's go back over here. And I'm going to select titles again. And I'm going to find one that has more of a credit scroll. You can use this one. You can use this one if you want to use a far away. Those allow you to add more information. So I'll put this here. I'm going to click on it. There's my title. Put my title again. I'm going to come up here and make it 2 lines. First adventure. If I decide I want to make it that same blue that I did on the first one, I could select it. I'm going to go ahead and put my librarian's name. And I'll just put Mrs. Jones. And then the school. And for this, we'll just put best school ever. And then if you want to put yours for the director, since you are, or the creator, you can put your name there. So you give yourself some credit for creating this commercial, and the rest we can go ahead and delete. So I'll close the crayons, I'll click reset, and there's how it will look. Now I would go back to the very beginning, and you just pull this little arrow over, and you want to listen to it to make sure it sounds good.
Sir Pigglesworth, First Adventure by Joanne Wagner and Sarah Dean, illustrated by David Darchagord. This is such an amazing book. He goes traveling with his parents to London, and then he decides once he gets there, he's only 5 years old, he wanders off to see all the really cool stands and all the neat things, and he just goes exploring, and then finally a couple find him and help him return to his parents. And so they go home, and his parents are, like, well, this time you're going to stay with Grandma, and they're going to Vancouver. Well, he decides to sneak on the plane, and it gets so exciting to see what happens. So please read this book to find out what happens to Sir Pigglesworth.
So there you have it. That's the summary or commercial that goes with it. Now, sometimes kids like to add little sound effects, which is fine if you want to do it at the beginning. We have different sound effects that I've had them add. And I suggest just to put it at the very beginning. Remember that when you're wanting to hear these, you can just click on it and then hit the space bar. So if we want something, a city night crown. So if I wanted this, I could drag it and put it right here. Now it's longer than what it is, so then I would go and trim it. And then I still want to put something at the beginning, which might work nicely. Let's see. So they have lots of different sound effects that you can put. Or you can just have nothing. Let's see what time passing is. So we'll try that one. Now that one's only 2.3, and if I wanted to put it, I could maybe move it towards the center so it would sound like this as it started. Okay. So once I'm finished, let's go back to our, we're almost finished. Let's go back and see what our next step is. We've added the credit slide. We actually put in a little bit of sound just for extra. I'm going to click on the share button that's in the upper right and then select file. So let's slide this over and look for that share button. Their share button's right here. I'm going to select file. And then this video is about my movie. I just want to go ahead and put the title here. Check it that you spelled everything correctly. Though if you didn't, you could respell it on your desktop once you export it. I'll click next. And put the title again. Okay, going to go ahead and click save. And in just a few seconds, you'll start to see this start filling in like the pie, showing that it's getting ready to export. Now, one of the projects we do is we take those movies and then we upload it either into Google Drive or you can use a web folder, and we make a QR code of it, and then we are going to cut the QR codes and put them in the book covers, so that way if students want to see if they want to read that book, instead of reading the book cover information, they'll be able to scan it and see another student explain the cool parts of the book. So we're using that as a big library project, which is pretty exciting. I hope you have fun with this project. Thank you.